Hola mi gente, Mabu-HEY. This is Carlo and welcome to Nomads, where we celebrate diversity, culture, and inclusivity. Today I'm very excited to talk about Drag Race Philippines, the latest international franchise of Drag Race, the RuPaul's Drag Race multiverse. Yes, we have a lot of Drag Race seasons, and I'm especially very excited about this season because it's from my home country, the Philippines. I've created this video for anyone who's not familiar with the Philippines or Filipino culture. So if you have more questions, don't forget to write them down in the comments below. Now for my fellow Filipinos out there, if I missed anything or if you have more tips and facts for us, yes, write them down in the comments below as well. What I'm gonna do is play the video, watch the episode, well, each segment of an episode, starting with episode 1, Mabu-HEY or Mabu-HEY, and give you some facts that I'm familiar with, I'm aware of, that might be helpful for you in this journey that is Drag Race Philippines. So let's dive right in. Okay, let's start.
This season of Drag Race Philippines. The Filipino queens are
Work, Jiggly.
to set a standard.
Love it. All right, so notice how the host, Mama Pao or Paulo Ballesteros, says Philippines at the start of the show. Now that reminds me of how beauty queens say Philippines or introduce themselves during beauty pageants like Miss Universe and Binibining Pilipinas or Miss Philippines and other pageants. Wow, beauty pageants are huge in the Philippines and in Filipino queer culture. So I'm pretty sure we'll get more references to beauty pageants on Drag Race Philippines. We consider it as a national sport, beauty pageants. 3 Bs, we have 3 Bs. Basketball, boxing, and beauty pageants. So yeah, let's continue. Mabu-HEY. Love it. Beauty queen style. Happy fiesta. Love it. All right, so a few expressions there. Mabu-HEY. I love it. It's I would say it's a gay or queer take on the iconic Filipino expression Mabu-HEY. Mabu-HEY means long live or welcome in Tagalog or Filipino. Now we use Mabu-HEY usually at events like Miss Universe and competitions, or in speeches, political speeches, I would say special ceremonies, formal ceremonies. So yeah, that's a very important word for us Filipinos, Mabu-HEY. Next would be fiesta. Yes, we love fiestas in the Philippines. Now, we do know that in Spanish, fiesta means party, or I would say a feast day, right? In the Philippines, we usually use fiesta for feast days, whether it's, I would say, a festival, a town festival, or a feast day of a saint in your town. So that's fiesta. And yes, we usually say happy fiesta during fiestas. Right. Bring it on. Pinoy pride. Love it. All right, so I'm pretty sure a common question among non-Filipinos would be the language. What language does Drag Race Philippines use? Well, the answer to that, we have 2 languages, English and Filipino, a combination of both. Filipino, the national language, is based on Tagalog, which is the language spoken in Manila and in the southern part of Luzon, the main island of the Philippines. And English. So why English? Why do the Queens, or why do Filipinos speak English? Well, we have a long history of the language. We inherited English from the Americans, from the US, when we were still a US territory between 1989 and 1946. I think I got my history right there. Yeah, so up until now, we use English a lot. English is the language of education, government, and I would say business, science and technology in the Philippines. So we study English and Filipino in schools. So I guess it depends on how we use English at home and how you learned it from school, right? That's basically the basis of how you speak English in the Philippines. And obviously, Philippines is a multicultural, multilingual country. We have different languages in different regions. And in major regions, they speak a specific regional language. For instance, in Cebu and Davao, they speak Cebuano or Bisaya. And in other regions, we have Bicolano, Ilocano, Iligaynon, etc. Now, it's very helpful that we have two official languages because we can speak with people from other regions in Filipino or English. And most of the time, especially in the cities, we do speak Taglish, which is a combination of Tagalog or Filipino and English. So we code switch between those two languages. So don't be shocked to hear the drag queens, the queens on Drag Race Philippines changing from Tagalog or English or Filipino to English.
Pumasok si Silhouette. I was waiting for the reaction ni Marina. Then Silhouette started kissing everybody. Like, hi, hello.
Or especially with one queen, she would shift from Filipino to English to Cebuano.
Madayong mga kaigsunan, or I should say, hello mga kaibigan with feelings! My name is Lady Morgana, 30 years old.
So that's very interesting, right? Because she's from Davao, where they speak Cebuano, or Davaoeño, variation of the Visayan language. Yeah, we do use different terms. But yeah, let me know if you used different terms, or if you want to clarify something. Just let me know in the comments below. I love how we combine languages, especially for English, which is it's originally it was a foreign language. I love how we've made it our own, and not just for Filipinos in general, but for the queer community, for LGBTQ plus community, how we've incorporated Filipino, English, Cebuano into our language, in our daily conversation, in drag art, in queer culture. So on this show, right, they speak, on Drag Race Philippines, they speak English, Filipino, and then some of them speak Cebuano, or one of them, she speaks Cebuano on the show. And then there's gay lingo, which we call sword speak, or Bekimon there. That's the more updated term. You know how gay lingo goes, right? Queer lingo goes. It really evolves. Depends on the trend. Depends on current events. Yes, we're very playful with our words. Just imagine if we speak Taglish, the combination of Tagalog and English, we also use Bekimon or gay lingo in our daily conversations, right? And I'll give you some tips, and I'd love for you especially those who are not familiar with them, for you to know them, to get familiarized with these gay lingo phrases or expressions. And if you're interested to know more about Philippine English, the way we use English, and other Philippine languages like Cebuano and Tagalog, I've shared some of the some links in the description below, some articles and videos that tackle languages in the Philippines. Another interesting trivia, which I actually have seen this on Twitter a lot, especially since I speak Spanish. A lot of Spaniards or Spanish speakers and Portuguese speakers, especially people from Brazil, they're either confused or entertained how the Filipino Queens on Drag Race Philippines switch between 3 languages. So that's what they're saying. They switch between 3 languages. For some people, it's amazing because like if they speak English or if they can understand English, they don't have to look at the subtitles all the time, right? So just whenever they speak a language that's not English, the subtitles would help. Now, why is there Spanish? So before, I mentioned earlier, the U.S. occupation colony in the Philippines started in 1898. Before that was the Spanish colony in the Philippines, or Spanish occupation in the Philippines. So just imagine how Spanish phrases and words basically were incorporated in Filipino languages, in the Philippine languages like Cebuano, Tagalog, etc. That is why we have, or we use, the correct word is we loaned several, they're saying hundreds of, if not thousands of Spanish words and phrases in Philippine languages. So not just in Tagalog, but also in Cebuano, because of the Spanish influence. And just imagine 33 years of Spanish occupation, colonization in the Philippines. Interestingly, we've kept our own languages, and I would say our ancestors have just incorporated and made Spanish and English their own, which is why now you have this, smorgasbord or buffet of words of different languages, different cultural influences. I hope I'm making sense. Let me know if you got it. But yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. See you in the next segment. Mabu-HEY!